I'll more focus on first quantitative analysis. I'm sharing one articles in front of you. You can have a look at this. You can zoom it to look at how it's done. So somebody has done qualitative research on adoption of social media as distribution channels in tourism marketing. What I want you to have a look at this article or maybe similar articles to see how the qualitative data is analyzed. So only thing I want you to focus on qualitative data analysis. So in introduction, it mentions that they're doing data collection. And if I go to the next slide, we'll see the abstract. So if you zoom it, you'll find it. This study, I'm not reading for you, you can read yourself, but I'm just want to show you first, and then I show you NVIVO analysis. So this paper explores consumers' experiences with technology-assisted service encounters, and they have done in-depth interviews to explore consumer experience regarding using social media, and then their findings are suggesting some paradoxes, some confusion regarding how people do it. To start research, there is introduction. So it starts with the title, the consumer evaluate satisfaction, dissatisfaction of the service encounters. Then the person talks about technology. He talks about customer satisfaction using Zithmal model. Then he talks about technological advances and how technology is amazing. So this is introduction. Then in the literature review, this is a qualitative research. So in the literature review, there is a theoretical framework being established. Framework will be about customer experience, yes, using social media. And they discuss a range of models regarding use of social media, consumer behavior, consumer seeking information. They've done a lot of studies, reviews in the literature review. My main focus is to discuss methodology today. And then said that a sample of 36 Facebook users was selected. And the researcher recommended use of snowball sampling. So sampling, snowball, sample size 36. The target population were available online. And then positives and negatives of snowball sampling. Data collection was by semi-structured interview. So whosoever doing qualitative, they have to follow a similar method. Semi-structured in-depth interview, and also some secondary data was also used. To use the questionnaire, the interview was conducted based on funneling principle. So start broad and go narrow. In-depth interviews were recorded and typed. So you have to also type it. And then use some software for analysis. They have used NU distribution. You are using NVIVO. So methodology establishes data collection, the sample size, and then the findings. So findings by the themes. The first theme is control versus chaos. So see how they have written. First theme is written, then theory is written, then some quotes here. Yes, what people said is written, and then discussion. Anybody who's doing qualitative, this is the methodology to follow. So right theme. The second theme is freedom versus enslavement. First theory, then evidences, which is from interview, quote unquote, and then discussions. Third theme, new versus obsolete. And then same. So the mechanism of writing is first name of the theme identified. Then you write a bit of theory about that theme. Then you write what from where interview quotes are used to match that theme, and then discuss that theme. So anybody doing qualitative, this is a mechanism you are supposed to follow. All of you who are doing qualitative, you have to follow. So theme, background theory, evidence, and discussions. So in the end, he said he has found number of themes, and those encounters themes are these. On the social media, people's experience are control versus chaos, freedom versus enslavement, competence versus incompetence, efficiency versus inefficiency, engaging versus disengaging. So these are the themes they have found in process of thematic analysis. This is how anybody who's doing qualitative research should be doing it. Now, these themes can be identified either using manual method of thematic analysis, or the method you've studied in the second semester using NVIVO. So you were trained for NVIVO by your teacher, hopefully whosoever taught you, they were supposed to. So if you have attended those sessions and your teacher might have covered, they should have covered basically at NVIVO, and then you have carried out thematic analysis. This is a bigger picture of how qualitative data analysis is carried out. So if I show now in the slides how this process, and then I go to demonstrate using NVIVO. Yes, questions.
So good morning, sir. My name is Zakir.
Yeah.
Sir, as you have just said, thank you very much for this session at first. It is clarifying many doubts. Thank you very much, sir. The thing is that you have said that once findings and discussions, we are identifying four aspects or four features of this, how to write it in the dissertation. That
Yes.
first we are doing the theme identification, then background theory,
Yes.
and the third one is that how I justify this thing or this identification or findings, that will be supported by the evidence.
Yes.
From my
So theme. So let me put this way: theme,
yes.
Theory.
Yes, sir.
Evidence.
Yes, sir.
Discussion.
Or
theme,
my
theory, evidence, discussion.
All right, sir. All right, sir.
So first write the theme.
Yes,
then
sir.
write theory, brief
Yes, sir.
about those. Then evidences, which is a quote unquote from the interview, and then
Yes,
discussions.
Sir. All right, sir. All right, fine, sir. So my question is that, sir, in case of I'm doing my qualitative research. So if I do not use any software like NVIVO, I do identification of theme manually. Then
yes, you can do manually. That's fine. I said you can do manually, or you can do using NVIVO. So your choice.
All right, sir. There is a thing that I mean, whether is it must that I got to use NVIVO, because that do not give me confidence other than the manual one gives me actually make me confident.
So the process is in the qualitative research, you have the sample, you are typing all the interviews, very important time.
Yes,
and
sir.
the time consuming exercise, all interviews must be typed.
Yes.
Then you're using either content analysis or template analysis or a thematic analysis or a grounded theory to come up with the themes.
Yes, sir.
And then you're linking back those themes to the objectives.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So what I was expecting and what I get.
Understood, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Another method within the qualitative is systematic literature review, which some people are doing. So their data source is not interview, their data source is pre-existing literature. That's only difference. So while our primary data is interview, our secondary data is previous research papers. Exactly same. So whosoever doing SLR, they are going to write the same way. Theme, theory, evidences, discussions. Nothing changes in writing systematic literature review. Okay? The only difference is the source. In SLR, the source of the data are previous research papers. In qualitative interviews, the source is interviews. That's the only difference. So if you are doing primary qualitative research, then your source is interview, which you are typed. If you're doing SLR, then your sources are secondary, which is already pre-typed because those are papers. That's only difference. No other difference to be followed. So if you're following systematic literature review, you have to follow a specific method, which is known as a PRISMA. And that method requires you to follow certain steps. Those steps are, for example, you should clarify which sources are eligible to select, which sources are not eligible to select. From which sources of data is used, information sources, and which are not used. What is the search strategy? What keywords were used? What was the process of selecting some data or rejecting some data? What were the data items used? How many risks and biases you have considered? What is the effect of sample size? And how are you analyzing those themes? This PRISMA has to be very clearly followed. Now, many people who are doing this systematic literature review, they are quite silent on the clarity of the methodology. So make sure you very clearly tell sample size, that data sources, search strategy, selection, rejection criteria, data items used, and synthesis methods or thematic analysis method. Very clearly you to see. Results are written same way. So you select some data and then you write themes, you put evidences, and then you discuss. This is a PRISMA method. You'd read more because you're choosing secondary data SLR. You'd read that what is the PRISMA method. All of you who are doing SLR must follow PRISMA. Read about PRISMA, about the methodology. My job is workshop. My job is not to train in the methodology. You have to go back to your previous session or from your previous term, second semester, and then decide your detailed methodology of systematic literature review. Okay, have a check word on that. Use Boolean operators, extract the data, and then critically appraise your data if you're doing any kind of systematic literature review. As I said, qualitative research methodology is the second route. Is interpretism. It is inductive, it is qualitative, and data is coming from either interview or data can be coming from your systematic literature review. There is no difference except that. So data source is different, otherwise the method and the data analysis and the sampling is entirely same. If you're doing SLR, you're supposed to have around 70 plus journal articles shortlisted based on your PRISMA method, and then you do thematic analysis. If you are doing interview, you are expected to have around 10 interviews recorded, typed, and done thematic analysis. There's no other difference between using those methodologies. And the data is you're writing data in the form of qualitative themes. So here, if you're doing quantitative, you start theory and develop hypothesis. If you're doing qualitative, you start with data and then you start developing theory. So basically, qualitative researchers are trying to develop some kind of a theoretical points of view in their findings. So if you're doing qualitative, so think of your data sources, review of explore your data, develop data coding system, assign codes to the data, and identifying occurring codes. Codes means themes. You are doing this kind of thematic analysis. The data is coming from either observations or interview or focus groups, or it can come from systematic literature review. So sources are different. No other difference is there when you're putting the data. So you look at the data, you collect the data, and this is the process of thematic analysis. This diagram. So left hand side is either an article or interview. So left hand side is interview or an article, and the right hand side you are looking into summarized themes or codes. So you are continuously reading all those articles or those interviews and then summarizing them into few words, which you call as codes. And then you write reverse order. You start with the code, you debate a bit of theory, you put evidences, quote unquote, and you discuss. So analysis, forward, writing, backward. So analysis starts with interview or article. Find themes or codes, what is behind those articles. So for example, if you zoom this single slide, some person is asked what this course has helped you the most. Student says, I appreciate how much the instructor encourages us to value our opinion or voice our opinion. And then as possible, the task is the students' point are respected, responded every question, and so on. This person doing, this person is reading, and on the right hand side is summarizing into 2 or 3 words, which is known as coding or theme analysis. So the process is reading the paragraph and giving a subheading or a heading to it. It's the same thing which you did in your GCSE, so English comprehension or language comprehension. Read a paragraph, give a heading. This is the process you follow in thematic analysis process. So this is how you should follow. The same process can be done using NVIVO. So you can do content analysis, you can do template analysis, you can do thematic analysis, you do text analysis, you can do discourse analysis. Essentially, the heart of everything is finding the themes. It is telling you what to use when. So for example, content analysis is to describe and categorize common words. Template analysis is to match the codes with the template. Thematic analysis is to identify and interpret patterns or the themes. Textual analysis is to examine the content, structure, and the design of the text. Discourse analysis is to study the communication and how languages are being used by the people. So it's telling you when to use what. And in the workshop, I can't say more than that. You need to choose your methodology of data analysis and then apply that in your final course. So some people do this way. They will have interviews of each person. They will write their answers and then they put their quote unquote, okay, on the answers. So process is continuous process. You take one interview, you type it, you analyze the data. You go to the next interview, you type it, you analyze the data, and so on. So it's a long process of data collection and analysis. So how do you do the thematic analysis? First, you read your article and see, oh, what is going behind it, familiarize. And then you're putting them subheading, which is known as coding. Now, some codes are merged together. You call them themes. And then you revisit themes and rename them. And in that, you start writing your thematic analysis. So follow these 6 steps for thematic analysis or content analysis or template analysis. And the writing is reverse order. First theme, then theory, then evidences, and then discussions. So analysis forward, writing backward. Yeah, Kir.
Sir, once again, sorry, sir. Sorry to ask this question. What you've said just now, I couldn't follow that. I mean, writing backward and thematic forward. I mean, could you please repeat that? You've just
So you
explained.
write when you are analysis, you are doing this. You're reading interviews, you're
Right.
coding it, you are naming themes, and you are defining themes, and you are start writing up. This is forward process. Yes.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
when you start writing, you don't start from interview. You start writing from the themes, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
The first thing you write on the report is the theme, not the interview.
Okay. Okay, understood, sir.
So it's the opposite direction. So when you are analyzing, you start with the interview. Yes.
Yes, sir.
And then you find codes and themes in interview, and then you define those themes because people have to understand what the theme means.
Yes.
And while you write up, you start heading with a theme, then start definition, which is a theory, and then you put the evidence, which is what interview said, and then
Then
you discuss that.
discussion, right?
So analysis goes from interview to summary, and writing goes from summary to back to discussion.
Yes, sir. Here is
Okay, so
6
that's the
parts,
forward.
maybe 6 steps I got to follow while doing the thematic analysis. In case of
Yes.
writing the theme, I got
Yes.
to
Or
do it in 4 parts.
now,
Right.
either SLR or interview, the same step has to be followed.
All right, sir. Thank
The
you very
only
much.
difference is data is coming from where? It
Yes,
is
sir.
coming from
Secondary
reports,
or
or is it
primary?
coming from interviews? That's the only difference.
Yes, sir.
Analysis doesn't changes.
All right. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, so once you have the interview in front of you, you read them, and then you highlight the keywords, which you call them codes or themes. Okay, so read those interviews, and the process is known as coding. So you can have many kind of codes: conceptual code, relational codes, participant specific codes, or other codes. You can make them. Code is just theme. Okay, maybe sub theme. You can think of code means sub theme, or you can say subheading, if that makes sense to you. So whosoever thinks qualitative is easy, it is not easy. It is more work. It is more tough. Quantitative will take 1 hour. Qualitative will take 10 hours or 20 hours to do analysis, maybe sometimes 5 days. So qualitative is more difficult, more laborsome than quantitative. So you first have subheadings. For example, here is uncertainty, leave to expert, alternative explanations, and then you have merged those codes into one. You call them themes. So themes means many codes or subheadings has been merged who are similar to each other. And then you revisit your theme. Rightly named? Is it a proper word? Is it could be understood? And then you define those themes, because nobody knows what that theme means. You are naming it, so you have to give a definition back. This theme means this. Okay, because your theme is a concept, and then you start writing. Writing is reverse. Start with a theme, provide definition or theory, and then discussions. So I've shown you this article, adoption of social media as distribution channels in tourism marketing. This was the article I shown you, and it was showing you how to do analysis as one example. And then you have discussions. Now NVIVO, which is a software we are using for analysis. So you put data into NVIVO, and then you do the same thing which you do manually. You read it, you highlight it, and you do themes. I'll be showing it in NVIVO now in a minute. Thematic analysis in NVIVO. So I need some interviews, otherwise I'll assume it. So I'm just going to share my screen for showing how you can do manually or using NVIVO. So I'm sharing my screen. I'm opening NVIVO. Okay, come on. NVIVO. I think it's taking longer. Let me turn off my camera, maybe 1 bit. This program. Okay, I can see 6 hands raised, so I can take some questions now, and why the time soft will be open. Okay, questions, guys? Yes, Sandeep?
Sir, if you are taking interviews, so we should ask 10 questions, isn't it?
Why? What is the rationale for that? Why 10 questions?
No, I'm just asking, sir, how many questions do we need to ask actually? See, I'm just following a qualitative research on in this. So,
How do I know that? How do I know that? It's your research. You should be knowing how many questions to ask. Nobody can tell you how many questions. I'm not a magician to tell answers.
all right.
So it depends on your aims and depends on number of themes.
All right, sir.
You are conducting one interview for 30 minutes. So how you can ask 10 questions in 30 minutes? Think of it.
Right, sir.
One interview is taking 30 minutes, yes? So do you think 10 questions are sufficient for 30 minutes?
All right, sir. I'll just work on that. So we have to select at least minimum 5, or how many customers? Like, do we have any numbers or
You
to
need 3 hours of the data.
3
So
hours
I
of
said around 6 to 8 people, 30 minutes each.
30 minutes each?
Yes, and if I remember, you have selected secondary data in the ethical form.
Yes, sir. I have
Okay.
to work on that again. Have to change it
You
to
change it.
primary data.
Okay.
Yeah. I have that idea, sir. I'll just work on that
Okay.
and then I'll give you an update.
Okay. So anybody who's changing method must change the method, their form also, ethical form also. Okay.
Sir,
Yeah.
do you have to add validity reliability limitation for quantitative research?
You need have a small paragraph for that.
Okay, fine. Thanks.
Okay. So we got here NVIVO, and I need a project. So it's maybe demo one. So look like this. So I need to have interviews. So I need the data here. So first thing is import the file. So bring your data here in this place. I need to find some data. Let me see what data we can use it. Okay, do we have interviews? Let me see if I have the interviews. A sample interview. Okay, not this one. Okay, let me find some interview questions, dummy ones. Trying to find some interview question answers, somebody's interview. So we're going to use as to demo it. Not here, not here. Qualitative. Is anybody having it? 10, 10, 11. Anybody has interview data to run through? Free. Okay, I think here. Okay, got some interviews here. One. Come on. So I'm going to use these interviews for analysis. Maybe 3 of them. Three, 4. I'm downloading some hypothetical interviews which were typed by the researcher, and we got it here. So these are the interviews you've typed. So these are the files. So 6 interviews which you typed. So first process is bringing these interviews here. You can drag it or import it. So we can open the downloads. I mean, my interview typed. I can hold it, all the files, and I can drag it here. So yeah, so now my data is in SPSS. You can open or you can drag it. So it's data. So first process is read each interview, familiarize. Depression, loss, abuse, So this interview was conducted American single mothers to find out any issues they face. So for example, this lady said, I had a lot of problem with work and relationship. I want to tell you 2 stories that show the troubles why I went to welfare. I want to see me in the red. So when I was a younger, I went to a school to nurse aid, but I had to quit my job. After a patient died, I had cleaned them and so on. So this is his problems. So read each of them. Second interview, again, American women. And then she says that I graduated from high school in 1982. I was 21. I started working. I met men who worked at nursing home. When I was 23, out of school, I didn't plan pregnancy. I got pregnant. I wanted the baby because I felt close to the father. I had unsafe sex and so on. And then the next one, again, American women, Takina, she said, I was feeling good. My residence was in Swissvale, area of city. I was happy. I had 2 beautiful children. We were content. Still, I was definitely struggling. My children and father was not supportive and so on. So this way there are 6 interviews about the issues single mothers face in America, particularly with single mothers who are who are from, say, lower middle class or maybe less income category. So first you need the data, and then you start doing thematicness. So what do you need to do? You need to read each paragraph and code it. So for example, you read this one. I had a lot of problem with work and relationship. I want to tell you 2 stories. I went to welfare. I was red. So right click and name it. Can you give a heading? Go to this paragraph. What is happening in this paragraph? Read and give me some names. Give me some codes. Give me some theme. Anyone? Yes, please.
The story, the personality story or issues.
Yeah, be more specific, because everything is issue. Because you will
the troubles,
issues all things. What issue is here?
Issues with the work and relationship.
Okay, so right click, code, new code, and you call it work
and relationship issues.
Yeah, okay, work and relationship. Okay. Okay. And you're doing manually, you're doing in maybe using Microsoft Word. If you're doing NVIVO, okay. Read the next paragraph, this one. So what is happening here? What should I name it? I'm sharing screen. I can't read, guys. You need to use your microphone.
Professional issues, maybe. Or
background is being shared.
Background?
Yes.
What background is here?
Person's life background.
Be more specific, because it will be the same thing for everybody. Background. So if you tell
It's
me
her
specific,
nursing. It's her nursing experience.
Okay. If I write this nursing, would you think the second person will also talk with the nursing?
You can say professional, sir.
Generic.
Professional experience.
Life.
Okay. It can be anything. You can say that. Yeah, it can be anything. But think of head also, that you have the number of people here. Yes. So maybe this is work related, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or job related. Okay. So let's see the next paragraph. After a patient died, I had to clean them, put the tags on them. I couldn't perform these required duties. I was turned loose in the field. I was scared of dead people, but didn't realize until I got a job. I had gone to the nursing because mother was a nurse. So what is happening here?
Professional transformation, maybe. Or
what else? It can be anything because this is qualitative. You can give me any name. I want to think, because we have to think of, keep in mind the second interview. He might not be nurse. He might be something. So we have to be very slightly generic, but not very much generic.
Challenges, work challenges.
Okay. So let's say put this way, work challenge. Put that. So again, new code. So in the beginning, will be many codes. Yes. Work challenges, and maybe we'll start then repetition coming after some time. Okay, okay, and then next paragraph. I'm not going to do everything. I just want to show you, and then you can do yourself. One day, my girlfriend called me at the nursing home when I worked and told me to come home right away. The constable was going to set my furniture out. The constable and my girlfriend sat there until I got home. The constable demanded the rent, which I paid with my paycheck. With the mother, my husband showed up and gave my mother's ride home in his new Cadillac. That's when I learned that he had used the rent money for buying a caddy. So two things are happening. One is here. What is happening in this paragraph? And then a second paragraph happening.
He's paying the rent using his mother's help, and I mean, like, he paid the rent to the constable using his mother's help. I mean, like, money.
What is the theme? Give me the name, 2 words or not more than that.
It could be life crisis,
domestic crisis.
Domestic crisis.
Regarding crisis, what? Crisis regarding sex, crisis regarding family, crisis regarding home, shopping, what?
Family.
Financial.
Yes, more better. The financial issue, isn't it?
Yes.
That is a
financial crisis.
Yes, so financial or crisis or issue, whatever you say. Okay. And here is something.
It is more like a shocker. It's a shock.
Yes, shocker.
Yes.
Yes, so shocker regarding what? You to go close to what is happening here. Thinking about the
true colors of people around.
Okay.
Yes.
What else? Who is this people?
Husband. His husband actually ditched.
Partner. Okay, partner. Because we can't say husband. Maybe the second person is just a partner. So we have to keep in all interviews in mind. We can't be very specific one interview. So what is happening here?
Ditched
the
by
partner is
misuse.
Yes.
We can specifically talk about family, not partner.
Yes. So unsupportive partner. Not cheating yet, but unsupportive partner. My husband chose a terrible time to buy a car. Not that there was ever a good moment to buy the car, because my almost evicted, rent of money. So what is happening here?
My husband chose it.
Is the same thing. So code the recent code. Yes, it's same as unsupportive husband. So you can see the theme start repeating now.
Yeah.
And what is happening in this paragraph? Please read.
This is again crisis.
Regarding what?
Financial only.
Okay. The other things also?
No, it's about work,
Health issue.
professional.
Yeah, I can see one is financial. There's other thing also, yes?
Professional
Health issue.
challenges.
Professional, yeah.
No, you already got the codes. You have one is happening the job, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, work challenges.
So that's repeated. The
Yeah.
financial is also repeated.
Yes.
Yes.
And then one more issue is coming here, alcohol, yes? Yes? So one more is coming, issue of alcohol or drugs or substances. Tone building, this is a subjective interpretation. You'll do these things, yes? So you will read this interview and then second interview, then the third interview, then the fourth interview. You do this thing continuously. Whenever new themes comes, you match. When then other comes, you repeat it. Now, if you click on these nodes, yes, you will see those nodes are here. So at the back end, they are being stored. Here are those. So we can see that alcohol has come 1 time, financial issue has come 2 times, unsupportive partner has come 2 times, work relationship has come 1% time. If you do this continuously thing, you can even export this. Okay, you can export the code. So this is your output, which you call as the themes. But it's the first stage, yes? Yes, this has come. And now you have to put what is meaning of alcohol, what was the issue, financial. You can define them here. You can put definitions here. This is a process you do for all the interviews. So there will be many codes are varying, and then you start seeing matching. For example, look at here, work or job challenges. So we can merge them together. Okay, you should start thinking merging of codes also. So this is a process of coding and merging codes, and you take those codes out. This is a thematic analysis using NVIVO. Data could be interviews or could be research papers. So for example, if I bring a research paper here, I can do the same thing. So let me drag a research paper, maybe down here. Let's see the download. So even if I have the research paper, for example, which one? I don't have any. Yeah, this, for example, this is research. Somebody is doing systematic literature. We can draw this. Come on. So you'll open this research paper, and his data becomes a research paper. Drag it on the left side, and see the research paper. Okay, so dragging. I'm just trying to open the file. So this is a research paper,
Okay.
and he will read the research paper, and he will find the code. Same process. The difference is, in other cases, for the interview and systematic literature review, you have the research paper. That's the only difference. So source is different. Otherwise, thematic analysis is the same. You take those nodes out. You can merge them together if you want to merge them. If you think they are close, you can merge them together. You can close those files to clear my file area. And then I can see the node. These are the nodes, yeah, in front of me. If I think they are financial, these work related work challenges to merge together, I can put together. So work challenges, work related, I can drag it and put under this. They will become one. Come on, right click in here. Come on, yeah. So it's going under this. So work challenges has 2 themes now, work challenges and they. If you say this will also come, work challenge and relationship challenges going together, you can drag this inside. You can see that now this includes 2 sub themes. Those are, come on. Even you can see which paragraph was taken, yes? So even you can see the paragraph also linked back. So here, if you plus, so I see this. If I click on that, I will even double click, I'll see which paragraph I've taken from. So it is, this is quote unquote at your use. Unsupported partner, if you click on that, I will see, okay, it was taken from these two paragraphs. Financial issues, I can click and I can say, oh, I have taken these quotes. So you can use those quotes back there when you write the things. So this is using NVIVO for what is known as a thematic analysis. If you want to do NVIVO for content analysis or want to explore the data, then one scope further or different. You go to explore and click on word frequency, and you want to see which words are repeated, 4-letter words which are repeated many times, not exactly, but maybe synonyms. So in all interviews, which words are repeated many times, which is known as content analysis. Run query, and you will see these are the words repeated: need, work, theft, care, data, and so on. But good thing is, if you click on right hand side word cloud, you see beautiful thing. You see something like this. So you can clearly see that these are the main issues which are coming in this article on the word cloud. Come back here. Come on, can zoom it a bit. This screen is so I can see here. Work, healthcare, time, health, care, data, good leave, medical. These are the words which are used by the people. So this gives you an idea what is happening in these papers. Large is the size, more is repeated word. So this is cloud of the content. Okay, so you can even export it if you want. Right click, and you can even export word cloud. So if you export it, you can name it. So output, and you can see that later. Let's say I save in the downloads, I can open that there. I can see my cloud. Yeah, this is what I have found there, based on 4 letters repeated most of the time. So this gives you an idea what is happening in all interviews. It's very good exercise, particularly if you're doing systematic literature review. You can put all articles together and then you can run these queries. So how I did it, I can show you one more time. I went to NVIVO. Let me close this and then go back. I went to, so I was here, files. I explore word frequency, and I choose how many words. Or I need 5-letter words. Okay, it's fine. Exact matches or synonyms. It's good to be synonyms because I want to see what is happening inside. Nearly, people might use similar words, but they have the same meaning. Okay, so this time 5 words, 5-letter words, mostly repeated. I can see it. I can see frequency wise: going 5 times, health 10 times, need 6 times, patient 8 times, work 7 times. But look at the cloud. You see the picture again, and this time health, patient, medical, technology, things, family, public stare, healthcare. These are the things which are having school. These are the things which are people have used in the interview. So large is a size, more is repeated, that word. Right click, export, and you can save it word cloud too. And you can see that this will go in your output. That is so look at this. This is your word cloud. So in qualitative thematic analysis, or in content analysis, or in SLR, your output is twice. One is cloud, word cloud, which tells you the content happening in the interview or in those research paper, And the second thing is a thematic analysis. So your output is themes plus clouds. This is the two output you get from NVIVO. There are many more, but at the moment, to keep it minimum, these two things you should be putting in there. Ready to take some questions now.